Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me for another office hours training. I'm Crystal Gunn, your financial strategist, and part of that job, um, being a strategist, is helping you to have some aha moments, helping you to start thinking differently about your personal financial relationship. So, helping you to heal it and redefine it so that it works for you. Also help you have some self-discovery moments and helping you see what no longer serves you so that you can release all of that and soar. And all of that is what helps with the breakthroughs. That's where you start to shift. That's where the magic happens. And so all of August is dedicated to life insurance because, oh my God, it's so very important. And it's one of my favorite things right behind an efficient and effective budget. And definitely want to dig into the reasons why life insurance is important, some misconceptions, and get you adequate coverage if you don't have any. And so the first 2 weeks of August, I talked about the misconceptions of life insurance, and there's a ton of misconceptions. And so go back and watch those episodes and see what misconceptions you had so that you can move past those and use this very, very powerful tool. This week, I started digging into why life insurance is important and the uses of life insurance. And so today, let's continue to look at ways to use life insurance. So number 4 is mortgage protection. And so life insurance can pay off your mortgage, allowing your family to retain the home without financial stress. This helps to preserve family wealth and provide a valuable asset for future generations. And think about it. And this is even if you have another life insurance policy, right? But what happens if you're called home to glory, right? Who's going to pay that mortgage? What if it was you and a spouse? Now that burden or that 100% of that debt is tied to that spouse, whether they're unemployed, whether they're employed, whether they're a stay-at-home spouse, whatever it is, now they're the sole person responsible for that mortgage payment. But also, what if you, like one of my clients, was unmarried and had 4 children between the ages of 17 and 22, 17 and 22, and then a grandchild. And 3 of those children and the grandbaby live in a house with her. And she has a mortgage. And when we were talking about life insurance, one of the things that I said was, who's going to pay, or can your children pay if something happened to you, the next 10 years? Like, could your kids pay that mortgage payment? And she was like, no, they would definitely have to come together to pay that mortgage payment, right? In addition, there's still all of the other bills that have to be paid that go into a house, right? And so it made sense for us to get her a policy specifically for that, right? Specifically for covering the cost of the mortgage, so that if something happened to her, her children did not have to try to figure it out. They wouldn't lose the house, right? Because they couldn't make the mortgage payment. There's some equity, but if they sold it, it wasn't enough equity to have a major impact on their lives. So having that policy gave her some peace of mind, but also allowed for that asset to be passed down to her children without the debt attached to it. So for doing this, I love a simple term policy for the amount of the mortgage. Term policies are typically less expensive, so it's really a cost-effective way to cover your mortgage. I'm not a fan of regular Let me clarify some things right now because I know somebody might be saying, but I did my mortgage and they had me pay primary mortgage insurance, PMI. Well, that's for the debt and it doesn't protect you. That's if you go into default, then the mortgage companies are protected. If you go into default, it's still hitting your credit. They're still holding you accountable for it. So that's primary mortgage insurance. Then there's um, mortgage protection or loan protection. And if you've ever gotten any other type of loan, um, there will be that, um, it's specific. It's a specific thing. It's for the mortgage and it decreases in value as you continue to pay that mortgage off, right? If you use a term life insurance policy, and let's just say you got a $200,000 term policy because your mortgage is $200,000 at this point, you continue to pay that mortgage off, but that whole $2,000 is still death benefit is still there. So let's say you've paid it off down to $100,000. Well, now $100,000 is going to go to pay off that mortgage, and then the other 100, because you had $200,000 term policy, then still goes to the rest of your beneficiaries, your children, your spouse, whoever you decided that would be, right? And so that's why a life insurance policy, in my opinion, is so much better than just mortgage protection that companies will offer, or that the bank, you may get something after you close on your mortgage, right? So again, for this, a simple term policy in the amount of mortgage works wonders. And so they talk about the American dream of home ownership. So it's not just about buying the house. It's also about preserving it for your loved ones and the generations that follow. Remember that generational wealth people keep talking about? So here's a way to pass it down, right? And so there's a series on Netflix called, I think it's called The Gentleman, but there's a movie and then there's also a series. So there's an American movie, but then there's the British series. The American piece might be a series too. I don't know because I watched it, but I watched the British series, right? And the father died, and the brother who was off in the world serving his country, he came home. And he was chosen over the other brother, who was the older brother, but he was chosen to receive the family to receive the family fortune and run and take care of the family estate. And when I say family estate in this um, sentence, it's about everything. So all of the family businesses, all of that, he was left to be able to run and run all of that. And he quickly found out that there were issues. But anyway, I don't want to tell the story, but part of what he thought about doing to solve some of these family issues was to sell the family home. So the home, the acres of land that it sat on, everything else that sat on those acres, and this really big, it really wasn't even a mansion. It was more like a castle, really. And so he was speaking to the family attorney, right, about it, who had been the family attorney for decades. And he was speaking to the family attorney and he said, that he was thinking in considering selling it. And the attorney asked him how long had this property, so the castle, the land, and everything else on the land, how long had it been in the family? And the son replied, 150 years. So the property and the land was worth millions and there was no debt attached to it. That's how we start to that's generational wealth for sure, right? So do me a favor. If you currently have a mortgage and you are called home to glory, how would having that home free and clear from a mortgage benefit your family? Just think about that. That's the favor. Think about it. How could you use that home to start building generational wealth? We all, you hear all of the time, grandma died, auntie died, somebody, and people just want to sell the house, or the house isn't protected anyway. And they just want to split it up to have this cash. When we talk about generational wealth, we're not typically just handing down, a stack of cash, right? What are the assets that's doing that? And so How could you use that home to start building that generational wealth, right? If you don't have a mortgage, but one day desire to purchase a property and you need a mortgage in order to do so, just be sure to get that life insurance policy specific for covering the mortgage, right? Specific for covering the mortgage. Remember, life insurance is a necessity. When I talk about getting your financial house in order, life insurance is part of that. And leaving your loved ones without your income or trying to figure out, how to bury you or figure out how to pay some debt off after you're gone. It's just totally irresponsible to do that. So when you talk about you love your family, the least you can do is have adequate life insurance. And so we as a people, Black folks in particular, are missing out on an industry that could help to stop the 2053 prediction of Blacks having zero wealth. We're missing out on the benefits of having life insurance, and we're missing out on the benefit of having a career in life insurance. When we talk about the 2053 prediction of Blacks having zero wealth, getting your financial house in order is how we ensure that prediction doesn't become reality. 29 years from now, 2053. So we can't wait for 2050 to start working on our finances. We got to start today. We talk about building that generational wealth. Well, life insurance and real estate are two of the tools to do so. And so we talk about also breaking generational curses. If a curse is going to start with you, then the new system of success must start with you. You have to get the tools in order to create those new systems of success and pass down those tools in order to be able to pass down generational wealth. All right. So you already know my favorite thing for today, life insurance. It is. Again, there's so many ways to use life insurance. We are only on option number 4, right? So stay tuned. And again, go back and watch the previous 3, and then also go back and watch the misconceptions. If this information has been helpful, please make sure that you follow the channel. So subscribe to the channel, share this information, turn notifications on, go back and watch any replays that speak to your soul, right? So what's next to do? You know it. Complete the life insurance calculator. The reason why I keep saying complete the life insurance calculator is it's going to give you some idea about how much coverage you need, right? And then we can have that conversation on how we're setting it up. And if it's in one policy, if it's in some different policies. So schedule that free consultation with me and let's discuss those options. That link to schedule the life insurance, I think it might say life insurance, wills and powers of attorney. Link is in the description below. Doesn't matter where you are in the US. Let's just talk about the thing. And then let's fill in the gaps in coverage and also get your children insured. Again, as we talk about passing down some generational wealth and setting our children up for success, life insurance and them having a policy where it can build cash value is going to be really, really, really huge and beneficial for them. So often we just think we have time. Oh, I don't need it today. Oh, I don't need it today. I don't need it today. And we never know. We don't know the hour or the minute of when our time is up on earth. So being proactive instead of reactive is the thing that, stop being late to the party. Just get the thing, take care of the thing, do the thing, right? And always remember to just give yourself some grace. Don't know what you don't know. I say give yourself some grace for what you don't know and the mistakes that you made. But once you hear some information and you don't move on that, well, you can't give yourself grace for that, right? But what you didn't know and the mistakes that you made and what you weren't taught, give yourself grace for that. But don't keep giving yourself grace and excusing not taking care of what you need to take care of, not changing your habits, not getting the information, not scheduling your appointment. So give yourself some grace on what you don't know. Keep striving for your next level. So once you find the information out, what are you going to do to get to that next level? Never give up on you and always invest in you. I promise you it's the best investment that you will ever make, and you'll never doubt it. You'll never regret it. So thank you for joining me today for Office Hours Training, and I will see you next time. Have an awesome day. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Be sure to join me for the private online Q&A immediately following. The link is in the description. And if you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on so you never miss this opportunity. Thank you again, and I will see you on the other side.